Hey guys, Susan Oliver here. I wanted to show you a little bit more about Transaction Desk and what it is that it does and how you can use it right now while we're waiting on DocuSign and Georgia Association of Realtors to work out their little marriage and get things rocking and rolling for us. So everyone knows how to get to the Georgia MLS landing page. When you get here, you can come down and click on Transaction Desk. The other video that I loaded the other day just kind of went a quick overview of Transaction Desk once you get here, how to find some information and utilize some tools. So today we're going to do the first part of creating a transaction. So when you load, we talked about how you can move these around on your dashboard. They're not locked into place. You can make everything how you want it to look, so it's a little customized for you. And now we're going to talk about the create a transaction feature. So a few things on how you can do that. You can click the blue hamburger button down here, and when you do, it expands and see the house with the little plus sign. You can click on there to create a transaction. If you have this shortcut on your dashboard, you can easily click on create a transaction and it will start. Or you can click on the house, which takes you to your transaction summary, and you can click on the plus sign right up here and create a transaction that way. No matter what you do, it will load just like this looks right here. So once you get to this part of the page, this is where you're going to name it. So if you have 123 Keller Street as your listing, we'll use that for the example today. See how it has a red asterisk next to the name? That's the only thing that's required. So I'm going to click on create, and it's going to pop up this wizard function, and we're going to go through those fields and fill them in. Maybe, hopefully. There it goes. Says transaction type. I just go on, and it's a little hard to see because my circle's in the way of where I'm recording at. So hopefully I got residential sale. Got it. And status, I'm going to go and change that to active. Let me see if I can move the circle around a little here. I'm floating head. Street. All this information is pretty basic. It is just like you were filling out any other form. And it'll take some of this information and autofill your contracts and your documents based on the information that you put in here. So you just kind of want to throw in some info if you're doing an example or a test loop. It's really up to you. I'm in my testing of using Transaction Desk, the lot number, deed book page, all of that stuff, none of that auto-filled on a contract. So I really just stuck with the address information and went with that. I'm just going to mark it residential for my own personal information, and then I'm going to click on next. That mumble in the background is my son because he's across the table doing his homework with me. So the list date, if you want to fill that in, that does autofill onto your contracts, expiration date, those things. Some of these will fill in, some of them won't. It's really up to you guys if you want to go on and fill them in or if you just want to wait and put them in on your contracts. Again, it is up to you and what you want to do. Maybe you need to step away for a minute because, well, we all have lives and things come up. You can click on save and exit and then come back to this transaction and pick right up where you left off. But I'm going to go on and click on next just so you can see this full wizard go all the way through all 5 steps. This is where we're going to add the people who are going to be on our contract. So Mr. and Mrs. Seller is going to go in here, and to add a contact, you can click on this plus sign right here. And a box should pop up. There it goes. So here's where you have a few options. You can create a new transaction contact, and that is simply that. You create a new transaction contact. You can add an existing contact. So if it's someone that maybe you're working with a buyer and you made an offer and that offer didn't get accepted, but now you have them saved as a contact, you can just pop them in on the new contract coming up. Add yourself, what you want to do, because you have to tell the transaction that you're the agent and what agent your role is in this. So we're going to go with create a new transaction contact. And the things with the asterisks is what you need to fill in. And I'm treating this as if it's a listing. So I'm going to say that the contact I'm adding is the seller. The first name, I'm going to use let's do home as the first name. We'll do seller as the last name. I'm just going to use my personal email for this just so that it has something in here to share with people. When you share the signings, this will be the email address that it goes to. You don't have to worry about anything else, guys. If you wanted to continue to put anything in, you can. You don't have to. On the address tab, if you want to put that in, you can. You don't have to. It is 100% up to you and what you want to do. And I'm going to click on save, and then home seller is going to show up as my home seller here in my contacts. And then I want to click on add again so that I can put myself in here as part of this contract. So add yourself. General, I'm going to say that I am the listing agent because, again, in our example, we're selling this home. Yours should default with your agent info. Ours, of course, defaulted with Family Home Group because that is what we have set up. Some of you all might run into that same situation. If you have your main login for your listings is a team name, not an individual agent name. So you just see how I'm typing and changing, and then I'll hit save, and that is what's going to show as Susan Oliver, not Family Home Group. So that wraps up step 3 of 5, and we'll go in and we'll click on next. And this is where we're going to tell it what forms we want to use. So right here on the add button is where we're going to go to click, and a box is going to pop up. If you do not have your Board of Realtors number loaded, you will not have access to the Georgia Association of Realtor forms. And as you guys know, you have to submit your contracts on there. It got really dark behind me because the sun went behind the cloud. So sorry about that. But make sure that you have that loaded so you have access to the correct forms to use so that your contracts go through compliance in a timely manner. And you don't have to rewrite everything because that would really be a waste of your time. And our time is money. So we're going to click on Brokerage Engagements. You can see how they have the files separated kind of for the purpose of the form. So of course, when we're doing a listing, the first thing we want them to sign is the exclusive seller listing agreement. And I'll just put a little check mark there. So similar when we were in Dotloop, how you could go in and out of all the folders, get everything that you wanted and load it. You can do the same here. Selling the disclosures, I'm just doing some things, for example, here, guys, so that you'll know how you can work in and out of these folders. You can check in the seller's property disclosure. The community association disclosure should also be built into this folder. And I am, oh, no. Oh, there's the lead-based paint exhibit. So let's go with that one. DeKalb County Plumbing, if your listing is in DeKalb County, some of you guys do list in there. What you can't see, because my little bubble head was in the way, is the basket right here where it says 4. That's how many items I have selected that I want to put into my transaction. So I'm going to go on and click add, and you'll see that it's got them all loaded right here. So yay, they're there. So that is all we need to do for right now. And then we're going to go to step 5. So because Keller Williams Realty Atlanta Partners requires certain documents like the wire fraud form. In case you haven't heard, we have an advertising disclosure form that you have to fill out now, and also a septic form. I forgot the official name of that form, but you can load those into here and then add custom text boxes and signature fields before you share with your client so that they can sign everything at once. So to get those into your folder or your transaction, you'll click on the plus button here. And we're going to go and search for our files and where they're at. If you need these files, I want you to reach out to me and we will make sure that we get those to you. We've downloaded them so that we have them available to share with people. The office also has them. You can reach out to anyone in the office staff and they should be able to send any of these with you. But here is the new wire fraud or the wire fraud form. Here is the sewage. These are the ones I was telling you about are new that are requirements. And eventually we'll need the 117 and 118 because this is our listing. So I'm going to go on and grab them too, just so I have them as part of my transaction, but we'll use those later. And I'm going to go on and click open. And it's loading in all of my PDFs. So you see everything's built into here. And that completes all 5 steps of creating a transaction. And I wanted to let y'all know this is a default for Transaction Desk. You can't do anything with it. It's just built into there. You can't delete it. You're not going to use it. So it's just to create a fax cover sheet because you can fax from inside of Transaction Desk if you did need to do that. So you could utilize this cover sheet to send with your files. So we're going to click on done. And now I'm inside my transaction in Transaction Desk, and I'm going to end this video right now, and then we'll do another one for how you complete the forms, and then we'll do a third video for how to share those forms to be signed. Talk to you all then.